Children dear, I will explain your fourth poem, Lochinvar, and first 4 stanzas are for memorization, and this is for the second unit test. Sir Walter Scott has written this poem, pre-reading activity, love and courage go together. If love is there, courage should be there. If courage is there, then love will be successful. This is important. Do you agree? Discuss in pairs. There is one Hindi song, the character that he sings the song and he explains what love is. How love is important. He tells, मेरा प्यार वो है जो मर के भी तुझको जुदा अपनी बाहों से होने न दूंगा. This is the song there. Whereas Shakespeare also said, he tells Ophelia, my love is such a love, Ophelia. If 40,000 brothers of yours, the love of your 40,000 brothers will be less powerful than the love of Hamlet. This is the comparison what he has made. But to have this love, whatever, only not this love what you are thinking now, but any love like parents loving their children or brothers, sisters love, husband and wives. Love means love. But this is a hero who loves a lady, and the name of the hero is Lochinvar. I will read this poem. First 4 stanzas are for memorization, and this will be for SSLC examination. Love and courage go together. Do you agree? Discuss in pairs. O young Lochinvar is come out of the west. He comes from the west. Through all the wide border his steed was the best. Steed means the horse. That horse was the best horse, not like these colts. The steed horses never sit. Soldiers have horses. I have seen horses in at Pune. Somewhere in the year 1982-83. Such a steed horse I had seen. The cost of that horse was 5 lakh rupees at that time. Race course horses. And in Gujarat there is one town called Kathewada Goda. These are all steed horses. O young Lochinvar is come out of the west. He has come out of the west. Through all the wide border his steed was the best. He had a best steed, best horse, and save his good broadsword, one broadsword, he weapons had none other weapons, only one broadsword, having 2-edged sharpness. He rode all unarmed and he rode all alone. He was all alone, riding his horse. Without any arms, so faithful in love. He had faith in love and so dauntless in war, very courageous in war. He was courageous in war. He was faithful in love. There never was a night like the young Lochinvar. There was not such a night like the young Lochinvar, such a lover, such a dauntless person he was, such a knight he was. He stayed not for break. He never stopped. And he stopped not for a stone. Whatever the obstacle stones used to come, he never stopped there. He swam the east river and ford there was none. He swam the river. Ford, a shallow point was not there for the river. The river was not shallow, very deep. Ford there was none, shallow water was not there. But higher he alighted at a nearby gate, and he came to the nearby it and he got down from the horse. The bride had consented. Before this, the bride whom he loved, before she became a bride, she had given consent just because her father forced her to marry. The gallant came late, the hero came late. For a laggard in love, whom she is going to marry, one who lags behind and a timid person, fearful person, coward, and a dastard in war, and a coward in war, was to wed the fair Ellen of brave Lochinvar. Ellen is of brave Lochinvar because brave Lochinvar loves Ellen. But her father, Ellen's father, forced her to marry such a person. He was not a knight, not bold, very timid person. So boldly he entered the nearby hall. Who? Lochinvar entered that nearby hall. Among bridesmen and kinsmen and brothers and all people in doing that rush he entered. Then spoke the bride's father. The bride's father, Ellen's father, became angry. His hand on his sword, he kept his hand on his sword. For the poor craven bridegroom said never a word. The bridegroom was timid. One was going to marry in the hall. Oh, come you in peace here. He asks Lochinvar, father asks Lochinvar, have you come for peace or came you in war? Or you have come for the war? Or to dance at our bridal, young Lord Lochinvar? You have come to dance, you have come for peace or you have come for war? He asked. I long would your daughter, my suit you denied. See, long back I would have married your daughter, but you denied our love. Love swells like Solway, but ebbs like its tide. And now am I come for this lost love of mine. I have lost this love, and for her I have come to lead but one measure, drink one cup of wine, to have one step of dance and to have a cup of wine. There are maidens in Scotland more lovely by far, more than your daughter. There are lovely ladies here. Maidens are there who are more lovelier than your daughter, that would gladly to be bride to the young Lochinvar. There are so many lady girls here who like to marry me, he says. The bride kissed the goblet. Now Ellen, she kisses the glass, the knight took it up. Lochinvar takes it up. He coughed off the wine. He gobbled it and threw down the cup. He threw the cup. He looked down to blush and she looked up to sigh. So this love situation is going on. With a smile on her lips, she is smiling and a tear in her eye. There is fear of her father, that too is there. Fear of her father is there because what he may do to her lover. But smile is there because her lover has come. He took her soft hand. Ere her mother could bar, ere her mother could stop, He took her hand. Now tread we a measure. So we went on with steps, said young Lochinvar, let us have a dance. So stately his form and so lovely her face. How stately he looked and how lovely she was, that never a hall such a galliard did grace. Such a person was not there in that hall at all, while her mother did fret, mother worried, and her father did fume. Father became very angry but could not do anything. And the bridegroom stood dangling his bonnet and plume. And bridegroom, he stood there to a corner doing nothing. And the bride maidens whispered, bride maidens, her friends, they whispered, it were better by far to have matched our fair cousin with young Lochinvar. अरे प्यार करने वाला हो तो ऐसा हो, लोचिनवार जैसा हो. And they too thought that this is a good pair. He is a good pair for her. One touched to her hand and one word in her ear. Slowly he touched her hand and he gave a word in her hand. When they reached the hall door, when they went on dancing to the hall door, and the charger stood near, the horse was near. So light to the crop, the fair lady he swung that lady on the horse. So light to the saddle, before her he sprang, and he also sprang on the horse. She is won, we are gone, over bank, bush and scaur. They will have fleet steeds that follow. Fleet steeds were there, horses were following them. Quoth young Lochinvar said, quoth means said. There was mounting, these are the clans, Mongrains of the Netherby clan, Frosters, Fenwicks and Musgraves. They rode and they ran. Some rode on the horse, some were running behind, they chasing it. There was racing and chasing on Canopy River, but the lost bride of Netherby never did they see. They lost that bride. They could not see Lochinvar or his lover, that is Ellen, so daring in love and so dauntless in war. Have you ever heard of gallant lion, young Lochinvar? This is a ballad. Have you heard such a person? Heard a story of such a person? Now, Sir Walter Scott, 1771-1832, was an excellent storyteller, both in prose and in verse. He was a storyteller in prose and in poem. In this popular ballad, this is a ballad, Pavada what we call. He tells us how in olden days, brave young man in Scotland possessed the necessary dash and pluck to do extraordinary things. How dashing they were, how they used to do extraordinary things. His narrative poems fascinate the reader by their gripping action, stirring measure and imaginative appeal. Lochinvar is a young promising knight of the Highlands. He is a promising knight. He came riding through the wide border in the west. There was a border in the west on his horse that had served him to a very best. That horse was a steed horse and that was best for it. Though was well versed in armed combat, he was well in combat fight and known for his mighty broad sword, and he was well known for his sword, renowned. Yet at this point of time, he came riding carrying no weapons with him. He came without weapons. Throughout his meaningful journey, he rode unarmed. He went unarmed and all by himself, all alone. Without fear, he persevered on his journey. He persevered this journey. There has never been a knight so valiant like Lochinvar. Nobody has seen such a person like Lochinvar. Hardships didn't hinder and prevent him from reaching his goal. The hardship what he has taken had never prevented him from reaching the goal. He swam across a river where there was no ford, no shallow water was there. However, before he alighted at the nearby gate, when he got down, the bride had consented to marry a coward, a timid person. She had consented. A brave Lochinvar had arrived late, but he was late. The groom was laggard. Groom means bridegroom, one whom she was going to marry. A slow dawdler, a very timid person. He was cowardly and despicable in war. He was not fit for war even. He was to take fair Ellen's hand in marriage. He was going to marry this girl. In contrast, brave Lochinvar entered the nearby hall. He entered the nearby hall, Lochinvar, boldly even in the presence of the bridesmen. When all Ellen's men were there, relatives, kins, brothers, relatives, and the poor craven bridegroom never said a word. The bridegroom was standing in the corner. The bride's father stood up and his hand gripping his sword. Bride's father, Ellen's father, he kept his hand on his sword. He spoke up and asked Lochinvar if he had come there in peace or with the intention of war. Whether this boy, Lochinvar, has come for peace or for war, or to dance at their bridal, or he has come for a dance. Lochinvar boldly replied that he had no long wooed the Lord's daughter. I have not come to marry your daughter, he says. But his rightful suit was denied because her father had denied this suit. His love for Ellen, which was like the swollen waters of the Solway, as water swells. What is his love? He explains. Like means it is simile, had now ebbed, has gone down, he said. Ebbed means gone down. He had come with his love lost only to dance one measure with Ellen and drink one cup of wine. I have come to dance with Ellen. I want to have a drink, one cup of wine at her marriage feast. He boasted that there were many maidens in Scotland. So many maidens are there in Scotland, far more beautiful than Ellen, who would happily marry him. There are so many maidens who will happily marry. The bride kissed the goblet and Lochinvar drank from it. He then threw the goblet down. He threw the goblet down. Ellen blushed at this his action. At this action she blushed. Her cheeks became red and she looked up with sigh, with tears in one eye and a smile on her lips. She smiled because Lochinvar has come. She teared because she is feared. She stood helpless. Lochinvar took her by her hand and led her to the dance. He led her with the dance floor. Before her mother could stop him, he started dancing with her. Lochinvar touched her and spoke a word in her ear. He spoke in her ear. He led her to the door where the charger was waiting for them, where the horse was waiting for them. Lochinvar swung the fair lady swiftly onto the back of the horse and took the saddle himself. Took her. Then they were gone over the bank of the river. Then they went to the bank of the river, Bush and Score. The nearby clans mounted their horses and went after them over Cannobie Lee. They went to the river, but they were never able to catch up with them. A man so daring in love and so dauntless in war had won fair Ellen and his wife, and at last he won the love. This is what I have explained the poem. Children, I want you all to read this poem just because it is for the memorization, also for the second unit test. And please see that you must memorize this poem. Also write the meanings of it. Try to note down this summary. Write the question answers on it. Do well. Thank you. Thank you very much.